Hello, I'm Dwayne Watson, back with you again for your Zonar 2010 inspection on your commercial motor vehicle. Today we're going to do the dump truck, which will going to be similar to your fuel truck, your MOT truck, any other service truck on the project. They're all going to be the same. Okay, so now at this point we're going to scan our Zonar identification card with the Zonar 2010 handheld. Read enter. Identification number, open reports, read enter, select dump trucks, right arrow over. These are all your open reports on this handheld. Left arrow, current report. Now we're looking for the black puck for this unit. This is the unit number associated with it. This is the mileage. You would hit yes to continue. Okay, so now we have our zones that we're going to go through and scan. We're looking for our yellow puck for the inside of the cab. Select read enter. It's looking for that puck. So at this point you have everything you need to check on your list. You're going through your gauges, making sure everything is operating. You're checking your windshield wipers, checking your mirrors, making sure there are no cracks, no broken glass. Checking your seats, making sure everything goes up and down, your defrost levels, everything work here. Also making sure that your safety belt is free from any rips, cuts, frays, and that it does click in. Also, you're checking to make sure that you have your first aid kit, your fire extinguishers, your spare fuses. The spare fuses will be located in your dash box. And your fire extinguisher is located here. Your first aid kit will be behind the seat, making sure that there's no obstructions to your vision whatsoever, and that will complete your in-cab inspection. You will select yes, everything is safe to proceed, and then you will go around to your next zones. So at this point, we're now on the outside of the unit. Select read enter. It's searching for the next zone. At this point, we're checking to make sure that the door opens and closes, that it's securely mounted to the hinge, securely mounted to the frame. There's no broken glass. Your mirrors have no obstructions. They're securely mounted. Your tires are inflated to the manufacturer specification. No cuts, no rips, no bulges. Your steps are secure, mounted to the frame, not creating any dents to cause any damage to your fuel tank or cause any type of spill leaks. Checking your exhaust to make sure there are no crack, bends, dents. Everything is securely mounted. And that concludes this section of your inspection. After that, you will just simply hit yes, everything is safe to move on. Read enter for your next zone. At this point, we're checking our engine oil. I had already checked this engine oil. It is at the proper level. We also have transmission fluid. We also have coolant, washer fluid, all here. You're checking your steering mechanisms, making sure that everything is securely mounted to the frame. There's no obstructions that's going to cause any type of binding while you're steering and operating this vehicle. Checking your tires once again, but at this point you're going to focus more on the inside. Checking the braking system, making sure there's nothing creating any type of hazards in case you need to stop in an emergency. There is no grease, no oil on any of the brake drums, brake pads. There's no cuts in any of the brake lines, no leak in fluid. At that point, everything is safe to continue. You would simply hit yes. And then we were going back to read enter to search for the next zone. Select read enter. Your handheld is searching for the next zone. And this is exactly the same as your driver's side, it's just on the passenger side. So we're making sure that your exhaust is securely mounted to the frame, no cracks, no dents. Your steps are secure, handles are in place. Your door opens and closes properly, it's securely mounted to the frame. There are no obstructions on your glass, no broken glass. Your mirrors are securely mounted, no obstruction there. And your tires are inflated to the manufacturer specification. Also checking to see if there's any cuts, rips, or bulges that would indicate that you may have a tire blowout. Checking your lug nuts to make sure that they are securely tightened, no running trails of rust that may indicate that you have a loose lug nut and potentially cause a hazard for losing the wheel, creating damage to yourself your unit, or anyone in the motoring public. Everything is safe to continue. At this point, you would just simply select yes, and then you'll go back over the whole process, read, enter, search for your next puck. Okay, we're at this point, read, enter, selecting for your next zone to inspect. At this point, we're basically checking the back half of your unit, checking all of your tires, making sure that they are securely mounted to the unit. Everything is inflated to the manufacturer specification, checking the outer walls to make sure that there are no cuts, bulges, or slits to indicate you may have a tire blowout. Checking any lights on the side of your unit, make sure that they are securely mounted, they're not hanging, and that they are operating. At this point, you would also like to check the bed of your equipment to make sure that it is free of any dirt, dust, concrete, any type of debris that could fall off and create a hazard to any of the motoring public. We do have our stick here. We've already cleaned off any loose debris. If you need to do that, this will be the time to utilize that option during your pre-trip and your post-trip. Everything is securely mounted. You also would like to just rub under the cross members just to make sure that there are no cracks. Do an undercarriage check once, at least twice per week, just to make sure that you didn't miss anything, that you don't have anything in danger of falling or becoming detached from your frame. Everything is safe to proceed. As any other zone, you would just simply select yes. There are no defects to report. And now we're searching for our next zone. At this point, as you can tell, we're at the rear of our unit. So we're going to select read, enter, searching for the next zone. And at this point, we're doing undercarriage as far as we can see, checking everything on the rear, making sure that we're in compliance, that our mud flaps are securely mounted to the frame on both sides. All of our lights are securely mounted and they are operating. We have our license plate, checking your brake system, your chambers, making sure that there are no cracks, no slits, no cuts or bulges, indicating that you may have a failure within your system while operating. As we're looking under the undercarriage, we have no obstructions. We have no safety defects to notate, so at this point you would just simply select yes, and now we're searching for our next zone. At this point we are now on the driver's side, which will be our back half of the unit. Again, read enter anytime you're trying to select the zone to inspect. Now at this point, we're checking again the tires to make sure there are no cuts, no slits on this, no bulging to indicate there may be a tire blowout. Everything is securely mounted to the frame, not at any risk of losing a tire on the highway or creating a hazard to anyone else. Check in between your tires to make sure that there are no obstructions that can become a hazard, flying free and endangering someone else. Checking your undercarriage, making sure you have no new cracks, no breaks in any wheels. Everything that is affixed to the frame is securely mounted, and there are no undercarriage hazards to report. No hazards to report. We're checking the side of our bed, making sure that all of our lights are securely mounted and operating, and that the bed is free from obstruction. We have no defects to report, so at this point we're going to simply select yes, it is safe to proceed, and then we're going to move on to the next zone. Inside of this dump truck in particular, we have our safety puck, which is located here on the driver seatbelt receptor. At this point we're going to hit read enter, and it is now searching for that zone. So when we started our inspection, we already pointed out that we have our fire extinguisher here. We have our spare fuses located inside of the glove box. We went over the safety belt, checking to make sure that it was free of any cuts, rips, or frays. Also making sure that it securely latches into the receptor. We also noted that our spare or our first aid kit is in the rear of the driver's seat, and we checked all of our mirrors to make sure that there were no cracks, anything in danger of falling out or creating any type of obstruction while we're operating the vehicle. So at this point it is safe to proceed. We will simply hit yes, and at that point that will conclude your inspection. So as always, you would simply select yes, I do certify that everything is inspected accurately, and you would then hit read enter, and then you would place the 2010 handheld inside of the cradle, And at that point, you will have a green light illuminate on the side, a green light illuminate on the front, and that sound indicates that your inspection has been submitted out and you are now complete with your inspection. Now we have concluded our inspection report using the 2010 Zonar handheld on this dump truck. I hope you guys find this video very informative and understand the importance of doing a thorough pre-trip and post-trip to keep you safe while you perform your roles and responsibilities, and keep the general public safe while they're just enjoying their lives. If you have any questions or any concerns, whether it be about the handheld, the type of equipment that you're inspecting, or the checklist, please reach out to your equipment department and we will be happy to assist you. Thank you and stay safe.